Here are the 5 things. I have a lot more points to cover. I'm trying to get it done in about 25 minutes. But here are the 5 things that holds us back from winning wars and opportunity. We're talking about 5 things that have a strong hold on us or have strong holds on us, keeping us from winning wars and opportunity. Do you know there is a war coming to you? I am fully aware. That's maybe why I'm wearing red. I'm war ready. But there's a war coming against my marriage, I'm sure. There's wars that's going to try to come against my daughter's mind. There are wars that are going to try to come against my properties. There are going to be wars that's going to try to come against my opportunities. There's going to be wars that's going to try to come against these things. So if I have strongholds on the inside, I cannot win the wars against me, nor be able to capitalize on opportunities. Do you know we that embody the Holy Spirit are unfair? Is an unfair fight against the enemy? Right now, we possess the power that makes us undefeatable if we allow ourselves to be treatable. We got to be treated, cured, healed, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, so that we'll be able to win these psychological warfares, physical warfares, marital warfares, parental warfares, so that we can be the beacons of light that says, why do they keep winning? How many of y'all right now put in the chat and say, I want to win? How many people right now says, Coach Josh, I want to win? Post in the comments now. Because if you want to win, you got to see if these things are holding you back from winning. Now, HOLDS real quickly, because I got to break down a couple of scriptures and I'll be out you guys' way. Number 1, 5 things that holds us back from winning wars and opportunity. Number 1, habitual negative comparisons. Repeatedly comparing oneself unfavorably to others fosters hurtful thought patterns, undermining confidence, and impeding the ability to recognize individual strengths and success. Right now, there are a lot of people watching me right now that says, hey, the reason why I'm not winning because I have a strong hold of habitual negative comparison. Key word, negative. There's nothing wrong with comparing yourself to someone that's winning. What I mean, you're comparing yourself to other people. We're talking about comparing skills, comparing habits, but we're not talking about comparing oneself. We're talking about identity. So habitual negative comparisons or repeatedly comparing oneself unfavorably. So when you look at someone and when you look at them, you look at yourself unfavorably, that's a stronghold. The enemy loves comparison because comparison robs you of joy. Without joy, you're not strengthened. Without strength, you can't win. So he knows all I got to do is have you to be habitual and comparing negatively. Because then this will foster, feed, grow hurtful thought patterns. Oh, I'm not as good as her. Oh, I'll never be like him. Or I'll never have that. Then all of a sudden, now that holds you back from recognizing your individual strengths and success. So it says, fosters hurtful thought patterns, undermining. The enemy wants to undermine. He wants to remove the carpet from up under you, undermine your confidence. He knows if I could get up underneath and rob you of your confidence, you will sink down to deeper depths of dark emotions that will hinder promotion. Number 2, overwhelmed by regret. Carrying a burden of regret in our souls can prevent us from seizing opportunities and making positive decisions for the future. Yeah, you messed up. We've all made mistakes, but we don't got time to be sitting in regret. Some of us are just so overwhelmed in our souls because of regret that it's hindering us from going out there to get. don't got time to regret. I got time to re-get. I don't got time to I got to go out there and get it again, get it again, get it again, get it again. Win again, win again, win again, win again. I don't got time to regret. I got to go and re-get. Go back out there and get it again, get more success again, keep stockpiling because of the righteousness of Jesus that was imputed on me. So there's no need to be overwhelmed by regret. Yeah, you made us. How many of us right now, we cannot get we can't get what's left of 2023 because of what happened in 2003. How many of us, God has a lot that he wants to give you in 2024, but because of what happened in 2014, you're not going to be able to achieve or receive what he already has in your 2024. And how many things are stockpiled in the enemy storage facilities of all the things that were robbed from us since the day we were able to get anything. But I love what the word says, that he'll redeem the time. We can get back what the cankerworm stolen. So the enemy can then restore, we'll have to restore everything that was stored from us to gain now. But we have to renew ourselves. But how many people right now are overwhelmed by regret? You don't have time for that. Another O that I put here is overlooked opportunities. Ignorance or overlooking potential opportunities stemming from a lack of awareness or closed-mindedness can hold us back from winning. So right now, a lot of us live in the idea of ignorance is bliss. Some of us, we don't have our biggest issue is self-awareness. We have an awareness issue. Right now, around you are so many invisible opportunities. Let me take it back. Are so many invisible and visible opportunities, but because we got scales on our eyes and because we're blinded by our poor belief systems, we can't see the obvious. That's why you got to be a constant observer, because opportunities are everywhere and opportunities fall at the laps of observers. And so if you constantly observing and you're constantly serving, then you'll be receiving what you would then be deserving. So when you constantly observing and you tap into the Spirit of God, that man, you know how many random things created book ideas, how many random moments created video content because I was observant? Or how many of us were ignorant to the reasons why we have health problems, ignorant to why we have emotional problems? And having that type of frame of mind that stays in ignorance becomes a stronghold. So the enemy knows, man, that boy, that girl can't even see. Man, they like, bro, one thing that keeps me motivated is envisioning demons laughing at me. Dang, Josh couldn't even see that. Well, we got him again. That's why I keep my head on the swivel. Gideon, God said, bring all the men down to the water and see how they respond. He brought the men, and most of the men, when they got to the water, they bowed down to the water and began to drink. The other group of men, which was a smaller number, were men who brought water to themselves and kept their head on the swivel. God then told Gideon, those men are fit for war. Those who constantly bow down to restoration not restoration, but those who bow down to refreshments are not meant for war. What does that mean? How many people bow down to refreshing themselves through Netflix or refreshing themselves through gossip, refreshing themselves through the negative influence, refreshing themselves? They're not fit for war because, and that's why God sees how we respond with certain doses of success. And if we bow down to the success, that proves we idolize the success or we idolize the opportunity to refresh ourselves. But when we know that even though my business has grown, I bring the business to me while I keep the head on the swivel. I bring the opportunity to me while I keep my head on the swivel because I know there's still war. So even though my marriage is going through an amazing time right now, I enjoy my marriage, but I keep my head on a swivel. Even though I know my daughter's 100% healthy, I still bring that moment to me and keep my head on a swivel. Those individuals are fit for war. But if we're ignorant and we always bow down to refreshments, then we can't expect to be successful. L, for time's sake, limiting beliefs. So we said H, habitual negative comparisons. O, overwhelmed by regret or overlooked opportunities. L, limiting beliefs. Deep-seated limiting beliefs can create mental barriers, restricting our perception of what we can achieve, holding us back from success. Some of us, we just have limiting beliefs. I've done a whole video on limiting beliefs. So if you type limiting beliefs, Joshua Ezzy, I have a whole video, very powerful video. So make sure you check that out. But times I gotta keep going. D, doubtful self-image. Man, it's big. A negative self-image rooted in self-doubt and insecurity can undermine our confidence and impede progress towards winning. So how do you see yourself? You got to see yourself like a child of God. You got to see yourself as a winner. You can't doubt yourself. You got to out yourself. You can't doubt. You got to put yourself out there. You got to say, no, like, listen, I get nervous every time I speak, but I still got to put myself out there. No matter what it is that I face, no matter what insecurity you may have, I got to go out there. I remember when my wife, we found out that we had a daughter. I began to have some doubts inside of me about being a father. But I ain't let that bother me because I know I got a heavenly Father. And I know that he is a present help in a time of trouble, and he's a present help in future troubles. So there's no need for me to be troubled. So I still got to put myself out there as a father and learn on the job, right? Also, I put a defeated mindset. A defeated mindset marked by pessimism and a lack of resilience can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, preventing us from achieving victories. How many of us, we already defeated mentally? Already defeated. We're pessimistic, not opportunistic. You got to look at everything as an opportunity, not an obstacle. And due to us being defeated, we didn't develop a lack of resilience. And then we create our self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's called self-sabotage, self-fulfilling prophecies, meaning that we conjure up outcomes to validate our victimization, keeping us from possessing nations. And so what it is, we'll be like, you know what? I'm going to get into a relationship already knowing it's going to fail to validate that I'm a failure. So now I can have evidence to other people for 20, 30, 40 years that the reason why I didn't do this was because of this or that. So we create our own self-fulfilling prophecies, prophesying through patterns, prophesying through our own belief systems so that we can validate the others' excuses, warranting why we're not winning. Boy, this is good. S, stagnant comfort zones. Being trapped in comfort zones, resistant to change and growth, can keep us from embracing new challenges and achieving personal victories. So a lot of us, we just like to be comfortable. Honestly, some people, they don't want to win because winning takes work. Winning takes consistency. Winning takes being uncomfortable. Winning takes overcoming. Winning takes engaging the fight. And we just, that's why there's a lot of people that talk about the rapture so much. Rapture. And when and people just want to get up out of here. Just get me to heaven. What? Isn't our responsibility before we get to heaven is to bring heaven down here through our own relationship with God, through our gifts and talents? And so some people they say, I just want to stay comfortable. I don't want to go. I just want to be religious. I just want to be in my sins. I just want to be comfortable. I don't want to grow. So the 5 things that holds us back. Number 1, habitual negative comparisons, overwhelmed by regret and overlooking opportunities. L, limiting beliefs. D, doubtful self-image and defeated mindset. And S, stagnant comfort zones. HOLDS.